Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here, welcome back to another Nikke Goddess of Victory video. Alright, there's two new characters introduced in the game. Elegg is one of it, and of course her partner Trony. So I think they both have a very interesting design character wise. But let's talk about Elegg because she's the one that's playable for the time being. And also, if you guys are not aware, Eggshell has a new costume as well. So let's talk about Elegg. Is she worth pulling for? How does she compare to other Burst 2 characters currently in Nikke? With that being said, let's jump right into it. Now, what is Elegg's purpose currently right now in the game? So she is going to be a Burst 2. I find her design very fascinating. I first thought she was very low quality, but the more I look at it, I actually think she has a very interesting design. Alright, so she's just a gamer that's into Doom, or Boom in this case, right? Now, she's going to be a supporter, a lightning type supporter, so her skill is going to rely on doing certain things. As you can see, she does damage to projectile, bonus damage. Alright, if you have like something coming towards you, like in Gravedigger boss for example, she can help in shooting those down. Now, if you have 100 normal attacks landed, she will be able to do a couple of final damage as distributed damage right there. So pretty cool. She's all about doing distributed damage and buffing distributed damage as well. So alongside with that, you can see a skill 2, she will be able to land a buff after 60 normal attacks. Alright, this is going to be pretty cool because for the time being at level 4, this does increase up to 8% of her attack. It scales off pretty significantly. Now, where it gets really interesting is this particular burst gauge by 100%. Now, I think this is going to be where if you are pulling for her for the time being, if you are new to the game, she can help you in some situations. Now, the only other character that can do this is going to be D, right? So the problem with D is D has a very big issue in you need to invest in her. And also D is going to be a burst tree. So if you look at D on her skill 2, right? So you can see activates when the target appears, affects all allies. This is going to fill your burst gauge by 84%. So you do need to level up this skill. So 84% is going to be 87% at level 6. However, with Elegg, this has changed, and I think Elegg is a better burst gauge filler because she straight away get 100%. You don't need to upgrade this skill at all. Even at skill level 1, you're getting that 100%. So that's pretty cool in my humble opinion. Now, burst skill, boom install. This is going to affect all allies, distributed damage increased by 28% for 10 seconds. At the same time, she will be able to deal bonus damage, affects one enemy nearest to her, the crosshair. She will apply defense reduction of the enemy by 25 to 26% around there. And it goes up. So she is a buffer that buffs distributed damage. So let's talk a little bit more about this. Currently in the game, who has distributed damage? Alright, number 1, we have Dorothy. Dorothy is going to be the few character that has that built into her kit. As you can see, she does distributed damage right here, right? So distributed damage means that you're going to deal damage to everyone on the map equally, alright? So if there's 3 enemies in the map, so you're gonna not divide the damage equally. Dorothy also has distributed damage on her burst skill. Now, the other character that has more distributed damage than Dorothy is going to be Scarlet Black Shadow. Now, if you have her, you know, distributed damage is going to be very close. Scarlet Black Shadow does a lot, as you can see. Alright, so if she activate full charge 6 times or even 9 times, she will do insane amount of distributed damage. And that is going to increase even more when you activate your burst skill, because that's going to become 2 times and 3 times. So Scarlet Black Shadow does a lot of distributed damage. The last character that I know of is going to be 2B. Now, 2B's distributed damage is going to come from this particular skill. Alright, so the burst skill where she does distributed damage to everyone on the field. Pretty cool. So these are the 3 main characters for the time being that has distributed damage. So let's compare. Let's make a comparison between all of these characters, give you guys an idea how good is Elegg in a team with all of these characters that can do distributed damage. Alright, I got some strategy. I'm gonna burn some bad luck. In the friendship pools, we're gonna burn some bad luck first. We burn some bad luck. Hopefully I don't get any yellow, I don't get any orange, and then we pull. Alright, good job, right? This is like the bad luck, so we're burning the bad luck here. We do 20 pulls here on the friendship pulls. We burn this bad luck away, and then we one tap in the red up banner. So this is a new strategy that I've been thinking of incorporating nowadays because I got so much friendship pulls, and you know, it's always too much. It's always too much, alright? This game is too generous. Alright. One more. Just make it 2000. Okay, let's go here. Okay, I didn't get yellow. That's the whole point. I don't want to get yellow. Alright, I'm trying to burn the bad luck here. So now the game detects that, okay, this guy has multiple several streaks of bad luck. So now you're gonna have the good luck. Alright, let's see if it works. Alright, now we're gonna go recruit times 10. So now the game sees, okay, good luck incoming. See? It actually works. Oh my god. Alright, so what are we looking for? We're looking for missiles. Good luck incoming. Alright, so... Alright, it's right there. It's right there. So just 1, 2, and we gotta make sure that it's a missiles, right? Is it a missiles? Yes, it is. It is a missiles. But is it Elegg though? Is it Essex? Okay, yes it is. Just like that. So make sure you guys incorporate this strategy because it has been proven to work right here on the stream. You guys are watching it now. So clearly it works, and if you guys do it as well, it will work as well. Alright, so Elegg, just like that, one tap. So actually it's about the same if you look at this, right? It is actually about kind of the same-ish. So Little did about here, let's see, Little did 6.1 here. Little did less here when we pair with Elegg. Makes sense because Dollar gives buffs. So we're comparing Dollar versus Elegg. So Dollar is doing less compared to Elegg. Makes sense because Dollar is a character that's not specialized in doing damage herself. Elegg does more. Scarlet Black Shadow did about the same, right? It's about the same. So where's this 10 million coming from? Red Hood did about the same as well. Actually more with Dollar, which makes sense because Red Hood doesn't do distributed damage. And Elegg herself is doing more damage. I find this very, very fascinating actually. Their damage is closer than you think, but I guess Elegg comes out on top because she herself does a lot of damage. So that's probably why. Okay, so let's have a look at some sample data right here. So this is against bosses. I noticed against bosses, Elegg versus Dollar, these two are going to be even more of a big of a jump. So you can see this one did 278 million, this one did 245 million. Everything else is the same. So what can I conclude from this, right? If you're looking for Scarlet Black Shadow specifically, Scarlet Black Shadow for her, Elegg seems to be a very, very good buffer. Alright, I do think that Elegg is going to be a very good buffer. She herself does more damage than Dollar. Alright, I'm comparing to Dollar because I think Dollar is one of the better burst 2 out there, right? Obviously, you can see Scarlet Black Shadow from 120 million increase from there to 137 right here. Insane amount. The rest stayed roughly the same, plus and minus 5%, but you know, I would say the big one is going to be from these two. So if you're looking to buff Scarlet Black Shadow, yes, I'm going to say that that's going to be the case. Now, some of you guys probably are asking, what about Dorothy? Now, let me see if I can show you guys some example because Dorothy also does distributed damage. So this is going to be a very, very good sample in terms of the difference right here. So notice these are all against bosses, a single boss. Dorothy versus Dollar versus Elegg doesn't seem to be as significant as Scarlet Black Shadow damage increase. So Scarlet Black Shadow damage is going to be way more, increase way more as you can see. But for Dorothy, based on my testing so far, it's about plus 3 to 4 million increase, right? It's still increased when you use Elegg, but it's not as much as Scarlet Black Shadow. So the difference there is not going to be as huge, right? The rest is roughly about the same. Now here's the very interesting one, right? So I decided to compare with Rupee. Now again, Rupee is I think she has fallen off a little bit sadly. So I think Elegg is a better character in this particular team. Now I did compare to Novel as well. Now which I find very, very interesting. So why Novel? Now if you guys are not aware, Novel can do something very similar to Elegg when it comes to single target bosses. I know a lot of people probably have Novel laying around. So as you can see, this particular one, if you see right here, damage taken increased by 52% for 5 seconds. And it's only going to affect one enemy unit, which makes Novel a little bit more niche when you fight a single boss. Sure, that can be a thing. However, if the boss starts summoning units and the boss have multiple other parts and multiple other characters on the screen, this is going to be harder to use because there's just more than one unit. So that is going to be the same issue with Elegg. Alright, I think Elegg suffers from the same issue. They are both the same concept in terms of that, right? Do the same thing, alright? Affects the enemy nearest to the crosshair. So this is going to be one particular enemy. And what she does is she decreases their defense by 10 seconds. So Novel is like 5 seconds increased damage taken. Elegg is like decreased defense by 10 seconds. Very, very similar, right? 285 million right here versus 290. So in a lot of situations, in a lot of cases, Novel can replace Elegg if we are talking about just single damage boss. Now, what about 2B, which a lot of people always say 2B. Is 2B going to be good? Now, sadly, Mars is still going to be the better burst 2 character, better burst 2 buffer. As you can see, Mars buffed 2B by way more. Alright, 106 million right here. When I use Elegg, that dropped to 71 million altogether. So it's just, if you have 2B and you're looking to improve your distributed damage, it's not worth it. Alright, Mars is way better because Mars improve 2B's HP, alright, which is going to be used significantly in everything, in her normal attack as well, because 2B scales off higher HP, right? That's going to be something that's very, very important. Even 8 could not beat Mars, so if you have 2B, you know, Mars is still going to be the better one. I wouldn't consider Elegg for the time being, right? So, does this mean that Elegg is not worth pulling for? She does feel a little bit, she does feels niche for the time being. I don't think she's like a must-have, but she's not bad for new players. Now, what do I mean by she's not bad for new players? Now, if you're struggling in some bosses, there are some special interception boss that she can be used, because remember, she basically have this ability where she gives you burst gauge immediately when you enter the battle. Alright, this cannot be used in PvP, however, because the condition is when the target appears, and PvP, those enemies doesn't count as a target. So she can be used in a lot of situations. For example, if you're struggling against the train, alright, or if you're struggling against Modernia special intercession boss, you always get stunned, you need to destroy the core in the middle, so she can be useful right there. Now, for a lot of veteran players like myself, it's probably not going to make that much as a damage, as a difference, but you can see immediately you enter the battle, boom, you are able to cast your burst skill right away. So this can be good if you are like a mid-game player and you're struggling in any of these bosses. I can see her pull value right there for sure. You could consider that. I think the issue is going to be in trying to compete with a lot of other burst 2 that can heal. I think that's going to be the big issue. So right now in the meta, Blanc and Nor is pretty much like the top. Alright, so burst 2 Blanc and then burst 3 Nor. Use this as a pair. And then you have Tia and Naga. So burst 1, burst 2. Alright, that's going to be one more. And then in some end game contents, because the enemy is going to do a lot of damage, you need healer. Alright, these two are going to heal. They cover the healing capabilities. And then you have Marciana. Alright, Marciana is a very strong burst 2. She's going to be there to be the best healer for you. Alright, like regardless of what team you're using, Marciana is going to be pretty flexible in that sense. So if you use Elegg, now you're sacrificing a burst 2 slot for a healer. So that means you have to rely on either burst 1, alright, you can use like Pepper, you know, in that case, or even Rapunzel, or you have to rely on using Helm to help you with a heal. Alright, so that's going to be, I can see that being somewhat of an issue for the timing. Is that going to be a big issue? That's going to be something that we'll have to test out for the timing. But for now, I would say you might not need Elegg as much unless you are struggling in your special interception. Then I can see, you know, you can use her to so-called destroy and get a free train, and then hopefully finally beat train to level 9, or even Gravedigger, right? Because Gravedigger is also a bit annoying. She will be added to the standard banner though, so keep that in mind, and yeah, don't feel too bad if you miss out on her, but there's always chance for you to obtain her later on. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think overall, if you guys are still going to decide to pull for her. As always, subscribe if you guys haven't already, give this video a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day, goodbye.